After Ella was betrayed by her friend Mina and her boyfriend Lin Jia, she was sent to a mental health facility. Mina stood in front of her, gloating over her misery. Mina took out a photo of herself and Lin Jia and showed it to Ella. She smugly told Ella that Lin Jia had never truly loved her. Lin Jia had only gotten close to Ella so he could use her talent in data analysis. Even more cruelly, the company Ella, Mina, Lin Jia, and Hongben had founded together had already been sold to Xing Company months earlier. Mina was now an investment manager. That position should have belonged to Ella. Mina also admitted that they had secretly been giving Ella banned substances. Those substances made Ella lose control, and she ended up hurting her mother. They also made everyone believe Ella had become mentally unstable. Mina and Lin Jia used that incident to push Ella aside and sell the company completely. In the end, Ella was locked inside the facility, and the company ended up in their hands. After hearing all this, Ella was completely stunned. She finally understood that the people she trusted most had destroyed her life. Overwhelmed by pain, she lunged at Mina. The nurses rushed in and quickly restrained her. 2 years later, Ella was released from the facility. She did not go home. Instead, she rented a room and lived alone. From that moment on, she swore to make the people who had betrayed her pay the price. Mina, Lin Jia, and Hongben would not be spared either. Meanwhile, Mina kept pretending to be kind and gentle in public. After receiving a desperate call from Mr. Li's son, Mina pretended to comfort him. But behind those words, she was deliberately pushing him closer to the edge. Mr. Li was one of the investors in Xing Company. His son was falling apart after rumors about his gambling came out. In fact, Ella was the one who had exposed the gambling scandal. But she had not fabricated anything. She had already found out that Mr. Li's son, Li Peng, really was involved in the gambling issue. He was also in charge of Xing Company's finance department. Once the scandal came out, it would damage both the company's reputation and its stock price. Ella wanted to use this crisis to make Mr. Jiang notice her skills in data analysis. If she could help Mr. Jiang stabilize the situation, she could secure a place inside Xing Company. But things soon spun out of control. Li Peng could not bear the scandal being exposed, and he died soon after. Mr. Jiang wanted to pay his respects after Li Peng's death, but Mr. Li refused to see him. Mr. Li had always hated Mr. Jiang. Mr. Jiang told Mina that Mr. Li would definitely use the stock drop over the next few days to force him out as CEO. The next day, the company's stock price kept falling, exactly as expected. Ella knew her chance had come. She contacted Mr. Jiang and asked to meet him. When they met, Ella told Mr. Jiang directly that she could help him stop the crisis. Her condition was simple: Mr. Jiang had to let her work at the company. Mr. Jiang asked how she planned to help him. Ella took out an image. It showed the calculations she had already made. She told Mr. Jiang that TK Company's stock price would double in the next few days. If they invested in TK Company now, then sold the shares after the price rose, Xing Company could make a huge profit. By then, Xing Company could turn the situation around. The other investors would have no reason to keep pressuring Mr. Jiang to resign. Mr. Jiang was not completely sure he could trust Ella's prediction. After all, TK Company's stock price had also been falling recently. Still, he decided to take the risk and trust Ella's judgment. After leaving, Mr. Jiang immediately returned to the company and took action. Ignoring objections from employees and investors, he sold the stocks they already held and put all the funds into TK Company. Just as Ella predicted, TK Company's stock price really doubled. Because of this, Mr. Jiang earned a huge profit for the company, and finally saw what Ella could do. After that, he held a banquet to celebrate and asked Mina to pick up a new hire. When Mina went to pick up the new hire, she realized the person standing in front of her was Ella. She froze, her face full of shock. Ella looked at Mina and coldly asked if she was surprised. Mina did not answer. Ella did not care either way. She had been waiting for this moment for a long time. The next day, Ella went to Xing Company and officially started work. When Hongben saw her from a distance, he froze. He knew Ella's return could not be that simple. As for Hongben, Ella would not spare him either. He had clearly known Ella was not mentally unstable. He had also known that everything Ella suffered had been caused by Mina and Lin Jia. But he never told the truth. By the end of the day, Hongben was talking to someone on the phone. He owed that person money, but he could not pay it back. When Ella saw Hongben after work, she walked up and greeted him first. After they sat down, Hongben acted sympathetic toward Ella. He said he had not been able to help her back then. Ella told him to stop wasting words. She reminded Hong Ben that when she had begged him for help in the facility, he had refused. Ella made it clear that she knew Hong Ben owed a lot of debt. She could help him pay off part of it. But in exchange, Hong Ben had to work for her. She told Hong Ben to think it over, then give her an answer. Mina made her next move. She went to meet Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee had asked to see her earlier. He wanted to know why his son had called Mina before the incident. Mina said Li Peng had only wanted her to help him contact Mr. Jiang. He could not reach Mr. Jiang himself. She also said she had noticed Li Peng was emotionally collapsing, so she had tried to comfort him. Unfortunately, Li Peng had not listened. Mina then deliberately shifted the blame toward Mr. Jiang. She told Mr. Lee that the last person his son had probably seen before the incident was Mr. Jiang. She hinted that Mr. Jiang had pressured him and pushed him closer to the edge. Mina did this because she wanted to use Mr. Lee to force Mr. Jiang out. If Mr. Lee replaced Mr. Jiang, she would have a chance to move up. After Mr. Jiang brought Ella into the company, he also became a threat in Mina's eyes. Later, Mina went to see Hong Ben. She said she needed Hong Ben to do her a favor. She wanted Hong Ben to say this at the next board meeting. Mr. Jiang had known about Li Peng's gambling for a long time, but still allowed him to manage the company's finances. When Hong Ben heard this, he thought Mina had lost her mind. If he really said those things at the board meeting, Mr. Jiang would definitely not spare him. Mina had also targeted Hong Ben through his debt. But unlike Ella, she did not give him a choice. Instead, she pressured him directly through his creditors. She wanted Hong Ben to follow her plan and frame Mr. Jiang at the board meeting. At first, Hong Ben refused. But that night, his creditors cornered him and forced him into a desperate situation. After being pushed into a corner, Hong Ben could only accept Mina's deal. The next day, he followed Mina's plan. He stood on the company rooftop, pretending he was about to do something extreme, and tried to drag Mr. Jiang into another crisis. But Mr. Jiang had already explained everything to Mr. Lee. He had also convinced the shareholders to keep supporting him. Hong Ben failed to take Mr. Jiang down, and Mina's scheme fell apart. Ella saw through Hong Ben's act and forced him down from the railing. Hong Ben tried to use his debt and his father's serious illness to ask Ella for help. In front of him, Ella told him he had no value left and would soon be fired from the company. But later, she still paid off part of Hong Ben's debt. She also helped him find a job that would let him take care of his father. After that, Mr. Jiang told Mina that Hong Ben had to be removed from the company. If the rooftop incident had really gone wrong, it would have damaged the company's stock price and reputation again. Not long after, Ella discovered that someone was following her. After subduing him, she learned his name was Song Yu. The hospital had assigned Song Yu to check her condition after discharge. But Ella did not want to keep being watched. She also did not want anyone interfering in her life. Song Yu mentioned that if she refused to cooperate, the hospital might contact her family. Those words immediately hit a nerve with Ella. She hit Song Yu and warned him not to interfere in her life again. At the same time, Mina started pushing the partnership with LG Company again. She knew very well that LG Company's funds were suspicious. But she still wanted to use the suspicious funds project to keep targeting Mr. Jiang. Mina went to Mr. Lee to discuss the partnership. She told Mr. Lee that on the surface, this partnership looked like a project opportunity. In reality, it could be used to target Mr. Jiang. If LG Company's funding issue was exposed, Mr. Jiang would be held responsible for failing to review it properly. Then Mr. Lee could seize the chance to force him out as CEO. In the end, the partnership between Sing Company and LG Company really began. Ella knew there was a problem with LG Company's funds. She went to warn Mr. Jiang because she thought he had simply been kept in the dark. But Mr. Jiang's reaction surprised her. He told Ella that he had known all along. As long as he appeared unaware, he would not have to take responsibility. More importantly, working with LG Company could bring profit to Sing Company. This time, Ella began to see Mr. Jiang for who he really was. He was willing to use her skills, and he was also willing to cross the line for profit. But Ella was not convinced. She reminded Mr. Jiang that if the funding issue reached the media, Mr. Lee would definitely use it to force him out. She proposed another plan. Since Mr. Jiang's goal was to bring the company more profit, she could help him do it legally. Ella asked Mr. Jiang to hold a press conference. At the press conference, Mr. Jiang could announce the cancellation of the partnership with LG Company. The reason would be simple. He had discovered that LG Company's funds came from suspicious sources. This way, Sing Company would immediately draw public attention. Mr. Jiang would also gain more trust, and the company's stock price would rise naturally. At the same time, Sing Company would not need to keep working with LG Company. Mr. Jiang could also avoid the risk in advance. Ella's words convinced him. Mr. Jiang did exactly what she said. Mina stood to the side, her face tense with anger. She had wanted to force Mr. Jiang out, but this scheme failed again. Mina went to question Mr. Jiang, asking why he had not told her before canceling the partnership. Mr. Jiang said it was because he no longer trusted her. He believed Mina had been secretly sabotaging his plans. After that, Mr. Jiang allowed Ella's third team to analyze every transaction completed by the first team. The first team was the department managed by Mina. When Mina learned this, she immediately realized things were turning against her. In the past, she had embezzled money many times and approved many projects she knew were problematic. Mina demanded that Ella come to her office and talk. She was sure Ella was behind all of this. In the office, Mina pressured Ella. She said that if Ella did not stay away from her, she would repeat what had happened years ago. After hearing this, Ella said only one word. Fine. The next second, she knocked Mina back into the wall behind her. The Ella standing there now was no longer the weak person she used to be. She made herself look injured, then screamed loudly. The employees tried to break down the door to see what had happened. Ella opened the door and deliberately let everyone see her injury. She made everyone believe Mina had hurt her. Ella did this to make Mina experience the same fear from back then. Back then, Mina had used Ella's loss of control and attack to get her sent to a mental health facility. Now Ella could use the same method to make everyone believe Mina had hurt her. After that, Mina might be sent to a mental health facility, or she might face serious legal trouble. Which one happened would depend on Mina's luck. That night, Songyu went to Ella's home to check on her condition, only to learn that she had already moved out. Ella had moved into an elderly woman's home. She had not chosen this place at random. The elderly woman had once received help from Ella and owed her money, so she rented the room to Ella as a way to repay her. Soon, the elderly woman's identity came out. She was actually Mina's mother. After Mina graduated from college, she abandoned her mother and never cared about her again. Mina's mother did not know that Ella had once been friends with her daughter. But Ella had known about this connection long ago. She moved in there to hold on to that connection and continue her payback against Mina. The next day, Ella attended a financial market analyst conference with her coworkers. She never expected to run into Lin Jie there. The moment she saw Lin Jie, Ella froze and could barely stand. Lin Jie had done all those things, yet he showed no shame at all. He even stepped forward, hugged Ella, and shamelessly said he missed her. Then he admitted again that he had only gotten close to Ella back then so he could use her. Ella could no longer hold back. She splashed the coffee in her hand onto Lin Jie's face. Before long, Mina spread the news that Ella had once been locked in a mental health facility. The company was immediately filled with gossip. Many employees began to wonder whether Ella could keep working there. Mina then told Lin Jie they had to keep provoking Ella. If Ella lost control inside the company, Mina could repeat the old method and push her back into the mental health facility. The HR supervisor soon asked to speak with Ella. She said she admired Ella, but the company had to prioritize employee safety. If Ella wanted to stay, she would need to undergo a psychological evaluation. Before Ella could respond, she discovered that Songyu had been assigned to conduct the evaluation. This made her resist even harder. She did not want Songyu interfering in her life again, so she immediately refused and prepared to leave the company. But when she arrived downstairs, Ella saw her mother standing with Mina. As soon as Ella's mother saw her, she rushed over and hugged Ella. She broke down and asked Ella why she had been hiding from her family. She also said the past was already over. Those words brought the past back to Ella. Ella could not face her mother, so she left her behind and ran away. Mina had deliberately brought Ella's mother to the company. Mina knew that seeing her mother would provoke Ella, and that was exactly what Mina wanted. Songyu followed Ella the whole way. He advised Ella not to shut everyone out. Maybe she could try accepting her family and friends again. But those words only made Ella break down even more. She asked Songyu how he had the right to tell her to let go when he had no idea what she had been through. After saying this, she left Songyu behind and walked away, completely shaken. A few days later, during lunch break, the company employees deliberately avoided Ella. Only the female coworker from her department ate with her. The manager heard someone badmouthing Ella and stopped that person on the spot. Then he sat down beside Ella and the female coworker. That day, Ella received a box from Mina. Inside the box was a sharp object. Mina told Ella to bring the box to the company rooftop and meet her there. Ella knew something was wrong, but she still went. Once she reached the rooftop, Mina kept provoking her. The two soon got into a fight. When the HR supervisor arrived, Mina immediately pretended to be the victim. She claimed that Ella had tried to hurt her. Then she deliberately reminded the supervisor that there was a sharp object in the box. This time, Mina failed. Ella had already guessed that something was wrong with the box and the sharp object. She had taken out the sharp object in advance and replaced it with a birthday gift. When Mina realized the trap had been turned against her, she rushed at Ella in anger. The security guards immediately pulled Mina away. The HR supervisor told Mina that if anyone needed psychological treatment, it was Mina. She told Mina to take leave first, and they could talk again after her emotions stabilized. Ella smiled coldly and told Mina she was not the only one who knew how to set innocent people up. The next day, Nora took the chance to mock Mina. The company had 3 data analysis teams. Mina managed Team 1. Nora managed Team 2. Ella's manager managed Team 3. Now that Mina had been forced to take leave, Nora naturally hoped Mina would not come back. That way, Nora could take over Team 1. After that, Ella's manager told her that from that day on, he would stand on her side and help her fight back against Mina. Ella's manager hated Mina. Back then, he had been close to a promotion, but Mina had framed him. She had also taken his position. Mina then went to the HR supervisor, hoping she would change the decision to put her on leave. But the HR supervisor told her directly to stop thinking about it. The HR supervisor said she was not a fool. She had already seen through Mina's plan. Mina had deliberately sent Ella the box with the sharp object to make others think Ella was mentally unstable. Meanwhile, Mr. Jiang invited Ella to lunch. As soon as Ella sat down, she told him to get straight to the point. Mr. Jiang said he admired Ella's intelligence. He also knew that she had released the scandal about Mr. Li's son. However, he could choose not to pursue the matter. His condition was that Ella and her team had to help him acquire Huatai Company. This was supposed to be Ella's chance to stay at the company, but she still refused the project. After Ella's manager found out, he was very angry. If they accepted the project, their department might gain recognition and escape its current difficult situation. On Mina's side, she finally remembered her own family. She went to visit her sick stepfather and pushed him outside in his wheelchair. Their conversation also revealed the past between Mina and Ella. It turned out that Mina and Ella had been friends since their school days. Back then, Mina had always lied to Ella, saying she came from a wealthy family. Then one day, she heard Ella's mother questioning her family background at Ella's home. After that, Mina blamed that humiliation on Ella. She was determined to live like a rich person. Even if she had to take away someone else's life and hard work, she did not care. In the end, Mina asked her stepfather to transfer the house to her name. Mr. Jiang was planning to buy every house in the neighborhood. The government was preparing to redevelop the area, and Mr. Jiang wanted his company to win the project. Mina wanted to use the house as a bargaining chip with Mr. Jiang, hoping it would help her return to the company. She knew very well that in this company, being asked to take leave basically meant it would be hard to return to a core position. Meanwhile, Ella ran into Song Yu by chance. She asked why he had told the HR supervisor she was stable without examining her first. Ella thought Song Yu would use the chance to ask for something in return. Instead, Song Yu simply left her a letter and walked away. In the letter, he wrote that he believed Ella was a good person. He also knew she had been through a lot. He wanted Ella to understand that some people were bad, but others were good. She did not have to shut herself away from everyone. Those words touched the most vulnerable part of Ella. For the first time, she felt that someone truly understood her. That night, Ella had dinner with her coworkers at a small restaurant. There, she accidentally learned that the entire restaurant street was about to be taken back. To protect the shop owners' livelihoods, Ella wrote a proposal. She suggested that the company give them a new place to operate. But Mr. Jiang and Ella's manager both disagreed. Ella had no choice but to look for a mall willing to offer space. Meanwhile, Mina urged Ella's father to buy properties in the district Mr. Jiang planned to redevelop. Then he could resell them to Mr. Jiang. After that, Ella kept visiting Kong Ho. He owned a mall with enough space for the restaurant owners to reopen. Ella wanted to convince him to let the shop owners move in. After several meetings, Kong Ho agreed to work with her. Later, Ella's manager learned that Ella had helped Hong Bin pay off his debts. She had also helped him find a job so he could care for his father, who had cancer. Only then did he understand that helping people make a living again was also an act of kindness. So he decided to support the Restaurant Street project. Mr. Jiang also agreed. That night, Mina went to see her mother. Mina asked whether her stepfather had already transferred the house into her mother's name. Mina's mother asked why Mina hated her so much. Mina blamed all the poverty in her childhood on her mother. In her eyes, her mother had ruined the wealthy life she could have had. Then Mina handed her mother a card with a large amount of money on it. She told her to take her stepfather and leave the district. But her mother threw the card back. She said she did not need Mina's money. Meanwhile, Ella was having dinner with her manager and co-workers. For the first time in a long while, she smiled for real. She also began trying to accept the kindness of the people around her. After persuading Ella's father to buy the properties, Mina took control of the ownership documents. Then she handed those documents to Mr. Jiang. The next day at the company, Ella convinced Mr. Jiang not to take on the district redevelopment project. She explained that the project would only make the company lose money. So Mr. Jiang returned the property documents to Mina. He said the project was no longer necessary. That night, the restaurant street reopened in its new location inside the mall. Ella, her co-workers, her manager, and Song Yu went to celebrate together. Song Yu was happy to finally see Ella smile. For the first time in a long time, Ella finally felt relaxed. Elsewhere, Mina went to Lin Jia in tears. She said she did not know how to win back Mr. Jiang's trust and return to the company. Just then, Kong Ho came over and greeted Lin Jia. Only then did Lin Jia realize that Kong Ho and Mina knew each other too. Kong Ho was not just a mall owner. He was also Lin Jia's friend. Even worse, Mina had been seeing Kong Ho behind Lin Jia's back. And Lin Jia had been kept in the dark the whole time. After this failure, Mina turned her attention to Madame Lin. Madame Lin was Lin Jia's grandmother. She was also an influential businesswoman who knew Mr. Jiang. Mina asked Madame Lin to speak to Mr. Jiang for her. At the company, Ella suddenly saw her father rush toward her. He raised his hand at her. Mina had told Ella's father that Ella was the reason Mr. Jiang had given up the district redevelopment project. Because of that, Mr. Jiang would no longer buy the houses Ella's father had purchased. Ella's father raised his hand again. At the last second, Song Yu caught his hand. Ella could no longer take her father humiliating her. She turned and left the company. Song Yu chased after her, held her, and kept comforting her. Later that day, Ella's father found himself locked inside his office bathroom. He shouted for someone to open the door. Then Song Yu's voice came from outside. Song Yu warned Ella's father through the door. For Ella's mother's sake, Song Yu would let him go this time. But if he ever went after Ella again, Song Yu would not let it pass. After that, Song Yu was no longer just the doctor assigned to watch Ella. In her eyes, he became the first person who had truly stepped forward to protect her. Meanwhile, Madame Lin invited Mr. Jiang to dinner. Madame Lin had helped Mr. Jiang in the past. Because of that old favor, Mr. Jiang had always been cautious around her. At the dinner table, she kept a cold expression the entire time. Mr. Jiang could only test the waters carefully and ask why she was unhappy. Madame Lin used that old favor to pressure Mr. Jiang. She demanded that he let Mina return to the company. If Mr. Jiang refused, she would not let him off easily. The next day, because Mr. Jiang was wary of Madame Lin, he had no choice but to let Mina return to the company. After Mina came back, Nora was reduced from managing 2 teams to only leading Team 2. Although the 2 women could not stand each other, they temporarily joined forces against Ella. They decided to frame Ella and drive her out of the company. At this time, Ella and her team were working on a factory acquisition plan. Their target was a factory that produced building materials. Huatai Company was also interested in the same factory. Ella believed that once Huatai Company completed the acquisition, it would likely lay off half the workers. So Xing Company could offer more worker-friendly terms. If the factory accepted Xing Company's offer, every employee could keep their current job. That night, Mr. Jiang was working in his office. Nora dressed up on purpose and brought food to Mr. Jiang. The next day, Nora told Mina she had already convinced Mr. Jiang to take the factory project away from Ella. But Mr. Jiang still wanted to appear fair. He said he would not disappoint Nora. But he would not hand her the project directly either. Instead, he asked both sides to submit their own acquisition plans. Whoever submitted the stronger plan would get the project. But Mina and Nora had no intention of playing fair. They stole Ella's plan. Then Nora presented Ella's plan as her own. So the project fell into Mina's team's hands. Lin Jia met Mr. Jiang at a club. From Mr. Jiang, he learned that Mina had been behind his suspension years earlier. Mina thought he was not smart and would only cause trouble. He also learned that Madame Lin was the person who had brought Mina back to the company. After hearing this, Lin Jia felt humiliated. He went to confront Madame Lin. Back when Mr. Jiang suspended Lin Jia, Madame Lin had refused to speak up for him. But after Mina got into trouble, Madame Lin personally stepped in to help her. Madame Lin told Lin Jia straight to his face that he was a failure with no value. Meanwhile, Ella went to see Lin Jia. On the way, she ran into Song Yu. Song Yu confessed his feelings to Ella directly. He asked if she was willing to move forward with him. Ella first joked that someone as good as him was hard to turn down. But a moment later, she clearly rejected him. Then she left Song Yu behind and got into Lin Jia's car waiting nearby. After that, Ella and Lin Jia went to a restaurant. Lin Jia asked why she had asked him to meet. Ella got straight to the point. She wanted Lin Jia to help her get back at Mina. In exchange, she would help Lin Jia return to the company. Lin Jia had already started to hesitate. He now knew that Mina was the real reason he had been removed from the company years earlier. But in the end, he still said Mina was his girlfriend. He could not go against her. After Ella heard that, she stopped trying to persuade him. Since Lin Jia had made his choice, she decided to start with him. She would make sure he paid for it too. Ella had already found out that Lin Jia was running an underground gambling platform. Back then, Li Peng had fallen into gambling step by step through this platform. The person who had truly led him into trouble was Lin Jia. The HR supervisor transferred Suya to Nora's team. Suya originally belonged to Ella's team. Mina suspected that this arrangement was meant to let Suya secretly help Ella take back the factory project. So she reminded Nora to watch out for Suya. Suya did not look easy to deal with. Elsewhere, Ella's father could not sell the houses he had bought with loans. Creditors started coming to his door often. To make Ella suffer, Mina gave Ella's phone number to Ella's father's creditors. She told them to go to Ella for the money. The creditors were not polite. They kept calling Ella and pressuring her. When they found that Ella ignored them, they went to Ella's mother's home. They left intimidating messages on the wall. At that moment, Song Yu happened to visit Ella's mother to check on her condition. He saw the messages on the wall. Then he helped Ella's mother wipe them away. Song Yu also gave Ella's mother a card. It was money he had saved. It could help her get through for a while until Ella's father's situation improved. Ella also came from a distance to visit her mother. She saw everything Song Yu had done. His kindness moved her. Ella waited for Song Yu outside. The two of them took a walk together. Later that night, after Song Yu walked Ella home, he called her and told her about his past. Song Yu said that both of his parents had been deaf and mute. When he was little, his home was always very quiet. He used to hate that quiet. But after a warehouse fire took his parents away, he understood something. The cruelest thing was not the quiet. It was never being able to wait for his parents to come home again. Later, he had thought about getting back at the person who caused the fire. Until one rainy day, a girl handed him an umbrella. After that, he gave up that idea and began receiving therapy. Later, he chose to study psychology. He wanted to help people who were suffering like he had. After Ella heard this, she understood that this was actually Song Yu's own story. That night, Song Yu stayed on the phone with her until she fell asleep. The next day, Ella found that Song Yu had slept downstairs outside her home all night. So she bought him breakfast. At the company, Nora did not want Suya to have any contact with the factory project. So she used Suya's pregnancy as the reason to exclude her from the project. Suya told Ella about it. Ella asked her to look into the files from the projects Mina and Nora had handled before. A few days later, the HR supervisor informed Nora that her team was under investigation. Suya had already found errors in old contracts. Some of the projects also involved improper operations. She had submitted the evidence in advance. Nora wanted to turn around and accuse Suya. But it was already too late. In the end, the factory project returned to Ella's team. Lin Jia went to ask the HR supervisor whether Mr. Jiang might let him return to the company. The HR supervisor exposed him directly. She said Lin Jia had never made any real contribution to the company. When he had been hired back then, it was only because of Madame Lin's influence. Only then did Lin Jia realize he had no value there. He met Ella outside the company. Then he started asking what he could get by working with her. Ella seized the chance immediately. She said she would help Lin Jia return to the company. More than that, she would help him keep getting promoted until he reached the highest position in the company. To make Lin Jia believe her, Ella told him Mr. Jiang had always wanted to get close to a mysterious investor. The outside world only knew that this mysterious investor had a code name. That name was Union Chief. Mina was also trying to approach Union Chief. She wanted to use this to regain Mr. Jiang's trust. If Lin Jie found the mysterious investor first, he would have a chance to change Mr. Jiang's opinion of him. The next day, the company held a charity fundraising event. In front of everyone, Mr. Jiang announced that Ella would become his deputy. At the same time, Ella would also take over Group 2 and become its new manager. A few days later, Mina returned home and found a box at her door. Inside the box was a photo of her and the wealthy foster father from her childhood. Ella's name was written on the photo. Mina immediately called Ella and questioned her. She asked if Ella knew the wealthy foster father's whereabouts. Since her biological mother had taken her away, Mina had never seen that wealthy foster father again. Later, it was not that she had never looked for him. She just had never found any results. Ella took the chance to make a condition. When Mr. Jiang asked them the next day whether they agreed to rehire Lin Jie, Mina had to stand up and oppose it. Only if Mina did as she said would Ella continue giving her clues about the wealthy foster father. Ella's move drove a wedge between Mina and Lin Jie. Mina opposed rehiring Lin Jie. Because of that, Lin Jie had a huge argument with Mina. He also confirmed that he did not matter to Mina at all. Mina called Ella and said she had done exactly what Ella asked. She demanded that Ella tell her the wealthy foster father's address. But Ella only answered vaguely on purpose. Then she hung up without giving a clear answer. As soon as Ella took over, she decided to bring her old manager and team into the Group 2 office. The conditions in her original team's office were truly too poor. That night, Ella had dinner with her manager. She told him she knew this position should have belonged to him. But he did not need to be upset. Ella's manager also knew that Ella had stayed in the company to settle things with Mina. After everything was over, Ella would leave the company. By then, the position would still belong to the manager. The next day, Lin Jie went to see Ella. He asked what she wanted him to do. Ella said he did not need to worry. She only wanted one thing. She wanted them to bring Mina down together. She also reminded Lin Jie to wake up. He had been kept in the dark the whole time. Mina was with his friend Kong Ho. Right now, they were very likely meeting in private. More importantly, Kong Ho knew Union Chief. So Mina would definitely use him to reach the investor and win that cooperation. The next day at the company, Lin Jie went to find Mina. He asked where Mina had been the day before. He was testing her. But he did not directly say that he already knew about her betrayal. After that, Lin Jie went to see Mr. Jiang. He made a deal with Mr. Jiang. He would help Mr. Jiang contact Union Chief. In exchange, after it was done, Mr. Jiang had to give him any position he chose. A few days later, Ella organized a banquet under Union Chief's name. She made sure both Mina and Lin Jie received tickets. Both of them thought this was their big opportunity. They rushed over, hoping to win Union Chief's cooperation. But when Mina arrived, she found that Ella had arranged for her mother to appear as Union Chief's assistant. She immediately realized Ella had played her again. Lin Jie, however, truly believed Mina's mother was connected to Union Chief. He even tried to flatter Mina's mother. After Mr. Jiang found out, he immediately questioned Ella. Ella admitted that she had brought her personal plan into her work. But her real purpose was not to let anyone meet Union Chief. She only wanted to use this chance to make Mina and Lin Jie suspect each other. As long as they started fighting for the same thing, the cracks between them would grow wider. The next day, Mina returned home. But she could not find her mother or her stepfather. Ella had already moved them to another place. Mina lost control in a rage. She called Ella with a warning. Since Ella had dragged Mina's mother into the plan, Mina would drag Ella's family into it too. It turned out that before this, Mina had met Ella's father alone. She deliberately told him the truth about what had happened back then. She made him realize that he had personally wronged his daughter. That night, Ella's father left the doctor's office. The doctor told him that he had a serious condition in his brain. He had to keep his emotions stable over the next few days. But the things Mina had said kept repeating in his mind. Mina had admitted that she once used his trust to make him hate Ella more and more. She had also admitted that when Ella hurt her mother back then, it was because someone had secretly given Ella something. But when Ella said she had been framed, her father had refused to believe her. He had even sent Ella away for psychiatric treatment himself. These truths hit him where he was most vulnerable. He thought about everything he had done to Ella over the years. He could no longer hold himself together. He called his wife and said he had wronged their only daughter. He did not know how to face Ella anymore. Before he could finish, he suddenly collapsed. At the hospital, Ella's father still had not woken up. In the end, Ella's heart softened. She paid off her father's debts for him. The next day, Ella went to the company to see Mr. Jiang. On the surface, she told Mr. Jiang that she had decided to resign. But she had not given up her plan. Before leaving the company, she handed Mr. Jiang a file. It proved that Lin Jie's underground gambling platform was connected to what happened to Li Peng. After Mr. Jiang received the file, he passed the evidence to Mr. Li. That night, Ella went to the restaurant she and Song Yu often visited. She did not go directly to see Song Yu. She only drew pictures with the little girl in the restaurant. Before leaving, she handed a letter to the little girl's mother. She asked the woman to give the letter to Song Yu after he arrived. Meanwhile, Ella launched another plan. She arranged for Mina to speak on the phone with the wealthy foster father. She made Mina hear the truth about her background for herself. On the call, Mina finally learned the truth. The wealthy foster father she had believed in as a child was not actually her biological father. He admitted that he could not have children at all. Back then, he had bought Mina from someone else. Then he raised her as his own. 6 years later, Mina's biological mother found a clue. She came to the house with the police and took Mina away. The truth shattered the fantasy Mina had held on to for years. She had always thought her biological mother had only taken her back to a poor life. But now she realized she had never been that rich family's daughter at all. She could not accept it. She broke down and started destroying everything around her. Song Yu went to the company to look for Ella. The HR supervisor told him Ella had already resigned. Then he went to the restaurant, where the woman gave him the letter Ella had left behind. At the same time, Lin Jie went to the address Mina's mother had given him. He thought he was going there to discuss a partnership. But Ella had arranged for Mina's mother to give him that address. When Lin Jie arrived, he realized the person waiting there was not a business partner. It was Ella. Before he could figure out what was happening, Ella placed the gambling platform documents in front of him. She told Lin Jie she had already found out everything. That illegal platform belonged to him. He had also lured Li Peng into it, step by step. He had made Li Peng lose money on purpose and then profited from it. Even Hong Ben had been dragged down by him. Lin Jie had told Hong Ben to use the platform, but he never told him that he was the real owner. Song Yu soon learned from Mina's mother that Ella had gone to a hotel to meet Lin Jie. He rushed there to find her, afraid that Lin Jie would hurt her. Ella told Lin Jie she would send all the evidence she had found to the police the next morning. After that, Lin Jie would have no way to avoid prison. Cornered, Lin Jie called Ella unstable. Ella let out a cold laugh and reminded him that people had already treated her as unstable. She also told Lin Jie that he would soon experience the pain she had gone through. To her, prison and the hospital she had been trapped in were not that different. If Lin Jie thought Madame Lin would help him get out of this, he was wrong. Madame Lin had already decided that Lin Jie was a failure with no value left. Madame Lin would protect her company's reputation before she protected Lin Jie. Ella's words hit Lin Jie right where it hurt. In that moment, Lin Jie lost control and attacked Ella. After the attack, Lin Jie left her there and ran. Luckily, Song Yu arrived soon after. He saved Ella just in time and called an ambulance. Lin Jie ran back to Madame Lin's house, crying and begging her to save him. But Madame Lin already knew everything he had done. Just as Ella had predicted, Madame Lin told Lin Jie to turn himself in at the police station. She made it clear she would not let Lin Jie's stupidity drag the company down. Early the next morning, the police came to arrest him. Madame Lin told the housekeeper to call Lin Jie. But the housekeeper told her there was no need. Before the police could question him, Lin Jie was found dead. At the hospital, the doctor told Ella's mother that Ella's condition was stable. But she seemed to have suffered emotional trauma, and she still would not wake up. While she was unconscious, Ella dreamed of the painful days she had spent in the hospital. Back then, she had pretended to take her medication on time. In fact, she had secretly saved the pills instead. She had once secretly called her mother, hoping her mother would come see her. But Mina answered the phone. After hanging up, Mina lied to Ella's mother and said it had only been a prank call. Ella also called her father, but he rejected her again. At that moment, she completely broke down. Later, several patients helped her get through the doctor's checks. One of them was an old man named Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao had always treated Ella like his own child. Although he was living in the hospital, he had not always been an ordinary man. Mr. Zhao had once been an important figure in the business world, and he still had connections outside. Because of his help, Ella was able to get a tablet in the hospital. She kept following news about Mina and built her revenge plan step by step. On the day she was discharged, Mr. Zhao also gave her a large amount of money. That money helped Ella get through the hardest period. It also gave her a chance to get back on her feet. Back in the present, Ella woke up from her coma. When Song-yu came to see her, they walked together in the hospital garden. Ella told Song-yu that her mother loved flowers. She also knew her mother actually loved her. But she still did not understand why her father had always hated her and treated her like an enemy. Around that time, Ella's manager visited her at the hospital and told her what had happened recently. Mr. Jeong discovered that Mina had bribed his assistant and planted listening devices in his office. After that, he fired both of them. Then he brought Nora back to the company and put her in charge of public relations. Nora also began flattering Mr. Jeong at the company. Mr. Jeong went along with it. That scene made Ella even more certain that Mr. Jeong only surrounded himself with deals and people he could use. Song-yu also told Ella's mother everything Mina had done to Ella. For a while, Ella's mother could not accept it. She could not believe Mina would treat a longtime friend like that. All Ella had wanted was her mother's forgiveness. During Ella's mother's conversation with Song-yu, the reason Ella's father hated her finally came out. Back then, Ella's mother had been pregnant with twins. But Ella's twin brother had been very weak. While they were still in the womb, Ella had started absorbing the other fetus as nourishment. It was a real medical phenomenon. But Ella's father had never been able to accept it. He believed Ella had taken her own brother's chance to live. Worse than that, Ella's grandmother had also passed away on the day Ella was born. On Ella's 10th birthday, her father's warehouse caught fire, and several workers lost their lives. After that, her father blamed all those misfortunes on Ella. He believed Ella brought him bad luck. Later, Ella's mother visited her at the hospital. After the mother and daughter talked, Ella learned that her mother had actually gone to the hospital every week to see her. The doctors had simply refused to let her mother visit. Only then did Ella let go of her misunderstanding about her mother, because she had always thought her mother had abandoned her long ago. In the end, the mother and daughter repaired their relationship. Ella also returned to live by her mother's side. A few days later, Ella's manager came to her with something she wanted to discuss. Kang Ho had closed the restaurant street. The manager had contacted Kang Ho to ask why he had done it. But Kang Ho had not given an answer. Later that day, Ella and Song-yu sat down together to figure out how to get the restaurants reopened. Song-yu advised her not to get involved anymore. He was worried Ella would get pulled into trouble again and get hurt. Ella quickly noticed Song-yu's feelings for her. So she brought up the letter she had left for him. In the letter, she had written that she was very glad to have met Song-yu. But at that time, she had not been ready to accept a new relationship. Ella knew this matter was tied to the shop owner's livelihoods. So she went straight to Kang Ho and asked him directly. She was sure someone must have been pressuring him behind the scenes. Kang Ho admitted that was true. But he said he could not tell Ella who had forced him to close the restaurant street. The street would stay closed. He told Ella to stop looking into it. After Ella left, Mina met with Kang Ho. Their conversation revealed the old grudge between Kang Ho and Mr. Jeong. It turned out that Kang Ho's father had once been an old friend of Mr. Jeong. But later, Mr. Jeong had caused him to lose all his money and his company. Kang Ho's father later passed away from a sudden heart attack. Since then, Kang Ho had lived with only one thought. He wanted revenge against Mr. Jeong. Mina knew about this. After Lin Jia died, Madame Lin started using Mina again to keep going after Ella. Because of that, Mina entered Madame Lin's company and temporarily took over part of the business. That company held a 10% stake in Huatai Company. So Mina went to Kang Ho and suggested they use those shares to work together. She was willing to hand over that 10% stake to Kang Ho. She would help him take over Huatai Company and get revenge on Mr. Jeong. Kang Ho knew Mina would not help him for free. So he asked Mina what she wanted in exchange. Mina's answer surprised him. All she wanted was for Kang Ho to shut down the restaurant street. Her goal was to strike back at Ella. Meanwhile, Mr. Jeong met with Kang Ho. He hoped Kang Ho would give up on acquiring Huatai Company. But Kang Ho did not compromise. He sneered and told Mr. Jeong that once he acquired Huatai Company, Mr. Jeong would look even more pathetic. The next day, Mr. Jeong approached Ella and asked her to return to the company. Later that day, Ella met Mr. Jeong at the company and agreed to come back. But she made one demand. Mr. Jeong had to help her solve the restaurant street problem. Mr. Jeong agreed. But he said he had recently run into funding problems. He asked Ella to convince Mr. Lee to invest in the restaurant street first. That way, they could continue the development. Ella went to Mr. Lee and explained that the project would protect the shop owners and improve Scene Company's public image. Because Mr. Lee already trusted Ella more than Mr. Jeong, he agreed to provide the funds. That night, over dinner, Kang Ho and Mina brought up the first time they had met. Back then, Mina had been forced by a client to drink at a bar. Kang Ho had stepped in and helped her out. Since then, Kang Ho had developed feelings for Mina. But after Mina saw through his feelings, she coldly drew the line. She said they were only using each other for fun. The next day, Mr. Lee transferred the funds for developing the restaurant street to Sing Company. But Mr. Jeong did not use the money on the restaurant street at all. Instead, he used the money to buy shares in Huatai Company. After Ella found out, she went to confront him. She could not understand why Mr. Jeong would deceive her again after everything she had done for the company. But Mr. Jeong showed no guilt at all. He said work was work. Ella had chosen to trust him, and that was not his fault. He even said, as if it were nothing, that he might consider helping her again after he acquired Huatai Company. At that moment, Ella saw Mr. Jeong for who he really was. He had never been an ally. He had only needed her skills for the moment. From then on, Ella would no longer see him as someone she could work with. Later, Huatai Company itself fell into crisis and became a new acquisition target. Soon, Mr. Min, the president of Huatai Company, came to see Kang Ho. Mr. Min questioned Kang Ho directly. He asked why Kang Ho wanted to acquire Huatai Company too. Mr. Min reminded him that Huatai had helped Kang Ho's company many times in the past. Now that his company was in crisis, Kang Ho was not supporting him. Instead, he wanted to take the chance to acquire it. But Kang Ho now only cared about getting revenge on Mr. Jeong. He told Mr. Min that he was sorry, but that was how the business world worked. In any case, the company would be acquired by someone sooner or later. Whether Kang Ho acquired it or someone else did, it made no difference to Mr. Min. Kang Ho was confident. He believed Mina would use Madam Lin's 10% stake to support him. But in the end, Mina turned on Kang Ho too. At the press conference, she announced that she and Madam Lin would not sell the shares to Kang Ho. They also would not sell them to Mr. Jeong. They would stand with Mr. Min and help him get through the crisis. They would not allow anyone to acquire his company. This was where Mr. Zhao's past became important again. It turned out that Mr. Zhao had once been a major businessman. Although he had later ended up in the hospital, he still held 4% of Huatai Company. And Mr. Zhao had long treated Ella as his adopted daughter. So Ella decided to borrow those shares from him and hand them to Kang Ho. She asked for only one thing. Kang Ho had to let the shop owners reopen their businesses. Mr. Zhao agreed and handed the shares over to her. That night, Kang Ho drank alone because Mina had tricked him. Mina came to see him and coldly told him that this was not her fault. Kang Ho had been too stupid to trust her. She also admitted that she had only been using him from the beginning. Kang Ho had not expected Mina to sink that low. He told Mina that however much he had once loved her, he now hated her just as much. He told Mina never to appear in front of him again. Ella went to see Mr. Lee on her own. She told Mr. Lee that she had already obtained 4% of Huatai Company. She planned to give those shares to Kang Ho in exchange for restoring the restaurant street. But if she did that, Sing Company would not be able to acquire Huatai Company. So she had to tell Mr. Lee first. Mr. Lee was grateful to Ella for revealing the truth. She had helped him learn what had really happened. Lin Jia had dragged his son into gambling, which led to the tragedy that followed. Mr. Lee told Ella that she could do anything she wanted. She did not need to worry about him. After that, Ella went to Kang Ho. She told Kang Ho she could give him the 4% stake she held. Her request was simple. He had to let the shop owners return. Kang Ho asked if that was her only condition, and if she really wanted nothing else. After Ella said yes, she told Kang Ho that she knew he had originally been a good person. Only his desire for revenge had changed everything. In the end, Kang Ho's shares in Huatai exceeded Mr. Jeong's. Mr. Jeong started to worry. His plan to acquire Huatai might fail. Later that day, Ella went with Songyu to watch the sunset. Ella told Songyu that he had changed her life. He had pulled her away from a life built only on payback. Because of him, she now wanted a peaceful life. Songyu could hardly believe what he heard. So he asked if she could be a little softer with him, and stay by his side for the rest of her life. Then Songyu kissed Ella. Ella did not push him away. From that moment on, they were together. After that, Kang Ho kept his promise and brought life back to Restaurant Street. When he met with Ella, they talked about Mr. Lee's plan. Mr. Lee planned to remove Mr. Jeong from his position and force him out of the company. He believed Mr. Jeong would harm the company, so he wanted him gone. Soon, the situation with Mr. Jeong and Mina began to change. Ella told Kang Ho that after Mr. Jeong left Sing Company and Mr. Lee took over, Kong Ho could work with Scene Company. Kong Ho said he could agree to that. But Mr. Jiang had to leave first. He wanted to watch Mr. Jiang fall and be humiliated. After that, he would do whatever Ella asked. Mina found out that Ella had given Kong Ho 4% of the shares. She immediately told Mr. Jiang about it. She wanted to push Mr. Jiang into getting back at Ella. The next day, Mr. Lee went to see Mr. Jiang. He wanted to have a proper talk and let Mr. Jiang leave the company with dignity. But Mr. Jiang said he would not leave. He also told Mr. Lee that he was about to acquire Huatai Company. Madam Lin had changed sides. After Lin Jia passed away, Madam Lin blamed Ella for everything. She believed that if Ella had not pushed Lin Jia into despair, his tragedy would never have happened. So she decided to hand her 10% stake to Mr. Jiang and help him acquire Huatai Company. In exchange, Mr. Jiang had to help Madam Lin and Mina get back at Ella. Later that day, Mr. Jiang told Ella to come to the company after all the employees had left. After Ella arrived, Mr. Jiang suddenly attacked her with a golf club. Ella fell to the floor, badly injured. Then Madam Lin and Mina also walked in. They stood in front of Ella and gloated. Mina even told Ella a cruel truth on purpose. Ella's father had never hated her without a reason. It had something to do with an accident that happened when she was born. After that, Mr. Jiang, Madam Lin, and Mina forced Ella to walk out on her own. When Ella returned home, she could barely stand. Mina's mother saw Ella in that state and immediately took her to the hospital. After Song Yu arrived, he asked Ella if Mina had done it. When Mina's mother heard this, she realized Ella knew Mina. She also realized Mina was one of the people who had hurt Ella years ago. But Ella did not tell the truth. She only said she had fallen down the stairs. She knew it was not the right time to expose them. Of course, Song Yu did not believe her. Ella insisted on leaving the hospital. Then she saw her mother pushing her father, who had just woken up, toward the examination room. Ella could not keep herself together anymore. She questioned her father, asking why he hated her for something she could not control. But her father could no longer think clearly. So asking him again would not change anything. That was when Ella learned that her mother and Song Yu had known the reason her father hated her all along. But they had kept it from her. She was hurt again. In the end, she told Song Yu and her mother that she no longer wanted anything to do with them. Trying to make Mina come to her senses, Mina's mother slapped her hard. She regretted not disciplining Mina earlier. Maybe then, Mina would not have become who she was now. But Mina showed no regret at all. She turned all her resentment back on her mother. She even said her mother should never have taken her away back then. If she had stayed with her wealthy adoptive father, at least she could have grown up as a rich man's daughter. Those words completely crushed Mina's mother. Meanwhile, Song Yu began investigating Ella's injury. He confirmed that Ella had not fallen down the stairs. Someone had likely attacked her. So he went to ask the HR supervisor and Ella's manager. But both of them said they knew nothing. Nora learned that Mr. Jiang was working with Mina again. She worried that once Mina returned to the company, Mina would take everything from her. So she went to win Mr. Jiang over and reminded him not to trust Mina again. But Mr. Jiang humiliated her to her face. He said their brief relationship did not mean Nora mattered to him at all. Ella went to see Mr. Lee and asked him to help her return to Scene Company. She wanted to expose Mr. Jiang's tax evasion and other illegal acts. That would give Mr. Lee a chance to drive Mr. Jiang out of the company. Mr. Lee already wanted to remove Mr. Jiang, so he agreed. After the argument with Mina, Mina's mother's condition suddenly worsened. The next day, Mina received the news that her mother had passed away. But she did not reflect on her own actions. She quickly blamed Ella for it instead. She believed none of this would have happened if Ella had not gotten close to her mother. She blamed Ella for dragging her mother into the payback. Mina went to the hospital to find Ella's mother. Ella's mother was taking care of her husband. Mina threatened Ella's mother and said she would ruin Ella's life. Ella's mother had reached her limit too. So she warned Mina back. If Mina dared to harm Ella, she would not let her get away with it. After hearing this, Mina lost control and almost attacked Ella's mother. Luckily, Song Yu arrived in time and stopped her. Ella was devastated when she learned that Mina's mother had passed away. She remembered the time she had spent in that woman's home. She also regretted dragging such a good person into her payback. Mina sent her stepfather to a nursing home. From then on, she decided getting back at Ella was the only thing left for her to do. Ella returned to Scene Company. Mr. Jiang knew she had returned for payback. But because Mr. Lee had brought her back, Mr. Jiang could not object. To keep Mr. Jiang from suspecting her, Ella deliberately told him not to worry. Mr. Jiang had already threatened her family and the people around her. So she did not dare go against Mr. Jiang again. But Mr. Jiang did not fully believe her. He decided to turn Ella's manager and co-workers against her. He forced Ella to tell her manager and co-workers to stop every project they were working on. That hurt them badly. But they knew Ella had been forced to do it. In the end, one of Ella's female co-workers decided to resign. She told Ella she was not resigning because the projects had been cancelled. The cancelled projects were not what hurt her most. She, the manager, and the HR supervisor had all treated Ella as a friend. But when Ella was in trouble, she never told them. She never let them help. At the end of the day, Ella told Mina to come see her. As soon as Mina saw Ella, she accused her again. Ella was tired of Mina always acting like the victim. Ella finally pushed back. If anyone was responsible for Mina's mother, it was Mina herself. Ella also brought up Professor Han's tragedy from years ago. That incident proved Mina had been using lies to ruin people since her student days. In college, Professor Han had taught both Ella and Mina. He had once recommended Ella for a master's program in theoretical research. Mina also wanted the recommendation, but she was rejected. Professor Han suggested that Mina work first to ease her family's financial burden, but that comment hurt Mina. She felt she had lost to Ella once again. So she falsely accused Professor Han of crossing the line with her. Because of that, Professor Han was fired by the school. Ella believed Professor Han was a good person, so she did not believe Mina's words. She began visiting Professor Han at his home regularly because he was very lonely. But Mina later went to Professor Han again and deliberately mocked him. As soon as Professor Han saw her, he completely broke down because of what had happened back then. Now, Ella told Mina to face the truth. She said Mina had never been truly innocent from the beginning. No one had truly harmed her. What had harmed her was her own greed and selfishness. But Mina remained unmoved. She told Ella she hated her, and would keep hating her, because Ella was loved, smart, and rich. Ella had everything Mina could not get, while Mina had nothing. After that, Ella went to see the president of Huatai Company. She told him directly that Mr. Jiang would destroy his company. Mr. Men asked Ella what she still wanted after everything she had been through. Ella said she only needed him to help find evidence. The evidence had to show what Mr. Jiang had already done illegally, or what he was preparing to do. That way, Mr. Jiang could be forced out of the company. Mr. Men could also protect his own company and avoid being dragged down by Mr. Jiang's corruption. The plan was simple. Mr. Men would first pretend to agree to the acquisition. Then he would slowly get closer to Mr. Jiang until Mr. Jiang lowered his guard. At that point, he could record Mr. Jiang admitting that he planned to use Huatai Company's projects to embezzle funds. Kong Ho also joined Ella and Mr. Min to carry out the plan. Next, Mr. Min deliberately left an opening. He let Mr. Jiang overhear a conversation between him and Ella. Mr. Jiang thought Mr. Min was starting to waver. He also thought he had a chance to buy him off. He even promised that as long as Mr. Min was willing to cooperate, he would give him a huge reward. But all of this was part of Ella's plan. After that, Mr. Jiang and Madame Lin hinted to Mina that she should use the same method again to ruin Ella. Mina did not refuse. Mina went to one of Ella's male co-workers and asked him to help with the plan. She wanted him to tamper with Ella's coffee. As long as Ella broke down and caused trouble, Mina could make people believe she was unstable again. In exchange, the male co-worker would get Ella's position in the company. She also said the manager had temporarily left the project. No one in the company was better suited to replace Ella. That night, after all the employees had left, smashing sounds and screams came from Ella's office. When Mina heard the noise, she thought the male co-worker had completed the task. She walked into the office. She saw Ella sitting on the floor, hugging her knees, looking completely shattered. Mina said smugly that Ella still could not escape. Then Ella looked up and smiled. She told Mina she had already turned the trap back on her. In fact, the male co-worker had already told Ella about Mina's plan. He had only pretended to agree with Mina so he could help Ella set a trap. Earlier, after Mr. Zhao was discharged from the hospital, he had been secretly watching over Ella. He worried that Ella would be framed again at the company. So he had arranged for someone reliable to stay by her side. This male co-worker was the person Mr. Zhao had arranged to protect Ella. By then, he had already started a live stream and recorded Mina admitting everything she had done to Ella. Mina was arrested in the end. But Mina still refused to let anyone have peace, so she left Ella a document. The document revealed that Song Yu's parents were among the workers lost in the warehouse fire at Ella's father's warehouse. That was when Ella understood that the fire Song Yu had once mentioned was the accident at her father's warehouse. The person Song Yu had once wanted to get back at was Ella's father. What broke Ella even more was another truth. The girl who had handed Song Yu an umbrella on a rainy day, and made him give up payback, was Ella herself. That meant Song Yu had known about their past from the beginning. He had also known that the fire was connected to Ella's father. He had kept it from Ella. Song Yu told Ella that he chose to hide it because he did not want her to suffer more. But Ella could not accept it. She said Song Yu had kept things from her, and she had kept things from Song Yu. A relationship like that could not go on. After saying this, she turned away from Song Yu and left. The next day, Mr. Jiang held a press conference and announced his acquisition of Huatai Company. The acquisition would be backed by Huatai Company, Xing Company, and Madame Lin's company. The three companies would work together to move forward with the city's old neighborhood redevelopment project. On stage, Mr. Jiang painted himself as a man devoted to public welfare and urban development. Then Ella appeared and struck back at Mr. Jiang in public. She played a video. In the video, Mr. Jiang was discussing with Madame Lin and Mr. Min how to embezzle funds from the redevelopment project. The truth finally came out. Mr. Min had never betrayed Ella. He had only made Mr. Jiang believe he had been bought off, so Mr. Jiang would lower his guard. All of this had been part of Ella's plan. Right after that, Mr. Jiang was hit with a second blow. A woman everyone had long believed had passed away arrived at the scene. She was Mr. Jiang's first wife. Everyone had thought she had passed away from cancer. But she was still alive. She exposed Mr. Jiang in front of everyone. Years ago, Mr. Jiang clearly had the ability to transfer her to a better hospital for treatment. But to protect his own career, he chose to abandon her. Later, she asked her friend for help. That friend was Kong Ho's mother. Kong Ho's mother helped hide her whereabouts. She also had the doctor tell Mr. Jiang she had passed away. Then Ella walked up to Mr. Jiang. She asked whether she had told him long ago that his end would be miserable. Mr. Min was not the only person who had helped Ella. Ella's manager and the HR supervisor had been helping her too. They helped Ella find evidence that Mr. Jiang had embezzled money at Xing Company. Mr. Jiang was taken away by the police. Then Mr. Jiang's current wife arrived too. She had already been working with Ella as well. In front of everyone, she told Mr. Jiang that she would file for divorce. At the same time, she would submit all the evidence showing that Mr. Jiang had mistreated her. That night, Ella went to the restaurant she and Song Yu used to visit. She found a letter Song Yu had left for her. In the letter, Song Yu said he had decided to leave. He felt Ella deserved someone better than him. He also hoped she would be happy in the future. After that, Ella went to visit her parents. She had not forgotten the pain her father had caused her. But after everything she had been through, she decided to let that resentment go. She chose to forgive her father. She also chose to let go of the past. Meanwhile, Ella's manager, the HR supervisor, and her co-workers decided to start a company together and begin again. This time Ella and Song Yu were not truly over. Their relationship found a new beginning. Ella was no longer trapped by the hatred of the past. She survived everything she had been through. And she kept moving forward.